Oh, is that a drink?
It's a LaCroix. I don't have any White Claws. Otherwise, dude, that would be so fun.
I have a Twisted tea. I can go grab it.
For me?
Well, no.
Fine, go grab it.
Just like...
Not for me, though? Okay.
Oh, look, isn't this can huge? Only sat on it like twice today.
Ooh.
All right, babe, I'm ready.
All right.
Jeez.
All right. Hey, guys, welcome back.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful? Isn't it awful to be...
You have to, like, start that intro?
Yeah, to sit passenger side of me just chilling.
Yeah. I'll just smile.
Hey, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm joined by one of my really great friends, Morgan Hart. He is our resident expert on Star Wars. Everything you want to know about Star Wars, just send those questions his way. On Discord, he is the Bourbon State, so please go find him. Please go add him on Discord and add him as a friend. I was trying to combine those two words together. So anyways, thank you, Morgan, for joining me on this call, man. It is a pleasure to be working with you today. You are just, oh, man, like George Lucas's right-hand man, last time I checked.
Stop.
Yeah. I'm hyping you up, man.
I know you're hyping me up, and I'm
you
going to say
nervous.
something dumb, and all the sweaty Star Wars fans are going to come out of left field and, like, revoke his card.
See, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to point all of it towards you so that you're the expert, and I don't get any shit for how little I know about Clone Wars and the expanded universe of that. So, get ready, dude. Get ready to get flamed.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Dude. Okay. So, first and foremost, the bad bitch. What did you think of episode 1?
Well, she's bad, man. But actually, I really liked it. Just first and foremost, I think out of all of the animated shows, and when I say that, I'm not including Resistance, I'm not including the, original 2D animation or any of that vintage stuff that you're seeing on Disney Plus right now. I'm talking strictly like Clone Wars, Rebels. I actually think this show had the strongest start. And that could be because it's building off of those, maybe. But personally, I think this one started off like on the perfect footing. Yeah, amazing all the way through. References all throughout. It planted a lot of seeds for different theories. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Dude, so going in, you knew that I am not a big follower of the Clone Wars series or Rebels. I'm kind of just, I know what's going on just because I've watched enough videos and I've done enough research to not have to watch the episodes, just because I got through 2 seasons of Clone Wars and I was like, this is probably not for me. And then everyone says it gets better after that. I just couldn't make the leap, and I will do it someday, but today's not that day. So this is kind of my first experience watching the very first episode of somewhere in that Dave Filoni extended Star Wars, it is Dave Filoni who was creating this show and this series, right?
This series?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So kind of like his animated universe of Star Wars or extended universe of Star Wars. And so all I have to say is, man, this one got me like immediately, because I always thought the most interesting parts of Rebels was the fact that we got Kanan, the last Padawan. I always thought that story was really interesting, taking that perspective of a character who was a Padawan at the time when Order 66 was executed. And so that, and seeing that in its fruition and seeing his relationship to these troopers, or to these clone troopers, the Bad Batch, was really good, really engaging, and really got you to like the characters immediately. Just because, like, the first minute or two is just establishing their back and forth and establishing that this kid is kind of, their little brother, and they're kind of taking care of him, which makes it way more impactful when that scene happens. What did you think about that? Because I know you're a huge fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan.
Yeah, you could say that, just a little.
Yeah, why don't you show him?
Oh, it's too much work.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He's referencing, I have a signed photo of Kanan on my wall from Freddie Prinze Jr.
That's not it. Hey, man, you got way more.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
You got a lot. Collection.
Yeah, maybe one day. But yeah, the start of this show, like you said, instantly captured me. Like, could not have started any better. It's taking one of the favorite things from Rebels and just like starting off the show on that strong footing. Um, I was really, I don't know how to word it. I loved how they captured Caleb's spirit in the beginning of that. Like, he's looking for the fight. He's just super into it, which is funny because you don't really see that in Rebels at first, right? He's a little more withdrawn. So if you're like comparing those two, you kind of see what Order 66 actually did. You also get to see how impactful that betrayal was, right? He saw his master die, like his master's yelling to run. Yeah, I thought they did that scene so well. And then also you get the confusion of like, of course we know the Bad Batch is good, right? And we can see their visible confusion, but to Caleb, like, he doesn't know that. And then all of a sudden one of them openly shooting at him. Yeah, you could look at that scene from like 100 different directions, and I think you could make 100 different takeaways from it. I thought they did amazing. What a fantastic opening.
Yeah, I love that to different degrees, each of them still had some alliance to the Republic, but they were conflicted due to these orders and them being soldiers and them being so tied to what, well, I guess the Empire being established, what they want to do. And so throughout this episode, you see that, they each have their inner conflicts, but we have kind of the leader of the group, which is, I'm forgetting his name. I'm still catching up on their names. Is it Hunter, yeah. Hunter, and then the marksman, who is Crosshair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're on opposing sides of the argument, and basically Hunter is sort of the protagonist, sort of the leader of the group, but the Bad Batch is an ensemble. But we see towards the end of the episode how those things get resolved, and you see that little conflict that Crosshair has at the end of the episode, but then the Empire completely rewrites his brain and rewrites his programming and then just turns him into the villain. So we kind of get a villain origin story as well as seeing kind of the group disband, and who's left are all the people who stayed loyal to the Republic, basically. But there was one addition to what I knew as the Bad Batch before going into the episode, which was the young girl, which was Omega. How did you feel about Omega?
So when she was first introduced, I was, like any fan, you're just trying to think through every possibility before we even get to it instead of just casually watching. I was trying to figure out who she was, like, what's the motive? Why is she like obsessed with the Bad Batch? And this is just like something that I interpreted from the episode. But one of the things that kind of like I was thinking about was one of the what am I trying to say here? It was basically stated that there are 5 enhanced troopers, right? The ones with the genetic mutation that is like quote unquote favorable. I was really trying to think about that. And like, we had the original Bad Batch of 4, but then we got Echo as a 5th. But I almost was thinking that it might be Omega that they were talking about. Not to like take away from Echo, and I'm sure it's not that, but like, I think they're really trying to point at how important this character is going to be, right? Like, her character is written all throughout the rest of the script. We know that for sure. But like, how valuable is their character going to be? Is she going to start kind of like Ahsoka, where it was just kind of like a kid? Like, is she going to be way more than that? I don't know.
Yeah. And that was the thing that kind of got me hooked into the show a little bit more, because I was like, oh, they're introducing a young kind of what do you call it, like a conduit for younger audiences to kind of be like, oh, this is who I can relate to. Meanwhile, I think we relate more to the Bad Batch themselves, like the OG guys. But I was like, oh, they're bringing in a kid character just for the kids, for the main Disney audience. But throughout the episode, she's kind of useful. She makes herself useful, and then you realize, her ties to the Bad Batch, and you realize, well, she's a clone. She's the first female version of the clone troopers, right? And I guess in some way she is the Bad Batch, and maybe more how she connects to the whole universe, whatever. But is there a reason why they make her female, and like what is so special about her? Do you know that?
I'm not too sure about the female trait. I actually don't know of this character outside of what we've seen so far, whether she exists or not. But one of the things that I had read after watching it that I did not notice at the time was that there are certain points throughout the episode where you see Omega showing qualities of every single one of the members of the Bad Batch, right?
Yeah.
Like, so just for a couple examples, right? You see the high morality, like Hunter, right? Like, you can't trust these people. Like, you can't trust them. Then you see, qualities of Wrecker. Like when they're in the lunchroom, she's just trying to start the fight. Like she's head in brawler. And then even towards the end of the episode, when we're getting to that standoff in the hangar, she picks up a pistol and shoots Crosshair's gun out of his hand, which is insane accuracy. So like this theory I was reading was hinting towards like maybe she is special because she contains every single, mutation that is in the Bad Batch. And then there was also the added thing of maybe she has a high midichlorian count and that's why she's so favored, because we see evidence of that when they're in the cell, right? And she is then talking to Crosshair saying like, you can't blame yourself for what you're about to do. So she's having premonitions of like what's about to happen. Right? Because like
I thought that was more of like she's aware of their programming, right? And she's aware that some are more prone to fall to one side or the other. But that I didn't even think of that. That's a really good point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at the time too. But it's kind of crazy to think like, I mean, maybe it was put there on purpose, because then like shortly after we see Crosshair being taken away, and then his programming is enhanced. That chip commandment that they need to follow for 66. He just is disciplined after that. So it's kind of cool. It makes me wonder if we'll ever like get to the point where we're seeing Crosshair really struggle, kind of like we saw with Rex at the end of Clone Wars. Like he was really struggling, even though he was one of the best soldiers, So I wonder if we'll ever get to that, or if they're going to really ride out the fact that Crosshair is like the villain. Yeah.
You think he's going to get a redemptive arc over the series?
I think so. I think we're really, for the next few episodes, going to see him really trying to like stop the Bad Batch. And I think there's going to come a point where either, I don't know, chip malfunction, he kind of has that breakthrough, right? I'm really thinking about Rex in that scenario, kind of like, how he was crying even though he was like having to carry out his orders.
Yeah,
I'm really thinking if we'll hit a point with that. Or who knows? Maybe they'll just ride that horse forever, and he'll just be the villain.
Yeah. Sorry. Were you
no! Don't keep going.
No, you keep going. No, you go first.
Well, now my train of thought's gone. What was I saying? Yeah, I really can't see them, turning one of the main members of this like elite crew into a villain and then just leaving that forever. Mm-hmm. But there is something to, factor in where we have now taken like that character out of the group, and we're going to start seeing like other characters start to fill in that position. Right. So like we have 4 or 5 now, like really different types of characters. We have like the tech, we have the leader, the brawler, the kid who's like all of them. And so now that we've subtracted that, I'm wondering if they're going to try to fill it in around him and replace him, or if they'll just keep that void there. I feel like if they do, they'll probably bring him back, but we'll see.
Yeah. That was one thing about kind of that whole group. They worked together really well, and that was something that I thought was really cool that they established. The whole Omega being possibly force sensitive is such a cool idea that it makes me wonder, has it ever happened? Like it seems like they would have done that already, right? Where a clone could potentially be force sensitive, because it's not really like, I guess midichlorians are genetic, but I feel like there is some marriage between it being like a genetic thing as well as being something that is destined to certain characters or certain beings throughout the universe. I think that idea was kind of established in at least the sequel trilogy, pretty well, where it's like midichlorians do exist, but also it is a spiritual thing as well, where you can be chosen, or it's just something that you can have, this innate ability that you gain. So the idea of clones not just being genetically destined to just be clones, the fact that they could potentially be force sensitive is a really interesting idea. Mm-hmm. Something that we kind of wish Finn had. I mean, he wasn't a clone trooper, but he was, what they established in this episode actually is kind of the birth of stormtroopers being recruited rather than augmented or genetically created. So that's a really cool idea. I really hope they do that, man. That'd be really cool.
Well, think about this. Like, Mandalorian, we have evidence that Palps was trying to do that, right? Like they're taking Grogu and trying to do those kind of things where they're trying to clone or get the midichlorian count. So I feel like it's not unreasonable for them to, say that, okay, well, maybe this was happening at the start of the Empire too. Maybe Palpatine was super prepared and he was trying to do this the entire time throughout the Empire. Yeah.
Because Palpatine has a huge presence in the show already, and I think this sort of connects directly into what happens in season 7 of Clone Wars, right? The most recent season, which I haven't watched yet, because everyone's like, you have to watch all 7 seasons before you watch those episodes, and it's like, I just want to watch those episodes. Like, I can't be alone in that idea where it's just like, I don't want to do all the hard work. I just want to be rewarded immediately. But everyone's like, it's going to be more satisfying if you watch all the other episodes. So I'll do it that way. But does it directly lead from that moment at the end of season 7 into this show? Or is it some kind of like overlap?
Well, I don't want to give away too much because you haven't watched it. I didn't know that. I thought you had watched it by now.
Nope.
But, in season 7, we get the introduction to Bad Batch. That's pretty close to the start of the season. Like, you learn about the Clone Force 99 and we hear about them. We get to see them in action. We see how they work as a team. You pretty much built up that image of like, oh, dang, like this squad means business. Like they get stuff done. But then, season 7 starts to divert on its own path. It's about Skywalker, Ahsoka, all of that business. And I think there's a stepping off point at Order 66 where that's kind of where we segue back into Bad Batch. But I wouldn't say they necessarily feed one into the other, right? Like, we obviously have our arc with Bad Batch in season 7. They do their thing. Then we kind of don't see them for the rest of the season. And then we pick up around 66 in Bad Batch.
Do you think this is what I'm about to say is fake deep, but the fact that their group is called 99 and 66 is 99 upside down? I don't know, man. Yeah. Do you think
that's a super deep fake? There's actually a reason why they're called deep fake, fake deep. Yeah.
I don't know what deep fake is.
Oh yeah, I've seen Henry Cavill mustache.
Dude, I love that video.
But no, so in Clone Wars, I can't remember the season, there is basically a clone number 99, I think. And like, if I'm wrong, someone will probably roast me for it. But basically, he is this, malformed, kind of rejected clone who works as a janitor, basically, on Kamino. That's why they're called Clone Force 99. When you first meet them in season 7, it might be Rex who says it. I'm not sure. Someone just audibly says like, nice touch. Yeah. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. It's after 99. Because 99 had a little arc, where you see him, he's rejected. People kind of make fun of him. But then he just comes in, saves the day, sacrifices himself on an attack on Kamino. And like, I think that's where the spawn of, the legend of like 99 came from. So it's probably just like a small little like hat tip to him.
Yeah.
So.
That makes
or
sense.
we could go with the 99 upside down 66.
That's stupid now. Now I feel dumb. But no, I know that episode because that was one of the only episodes in the early seasons I was like, this is good. Like all the clone stuff was good, which is why I was interested in this show because I was like, okay, we finally get to expand on the clones. Because that was
Yeah.
always something in the prequels that everyone was just like, they're disposable. But here you give them personality, you give them so much more context, so much more layers, that they become fully fleshed characters. And I remember that guy because he had a hump, and he was just like, what can I do for you guys or whatever. Can't do an accent.
Can you get an accent one more time?
Hey.
I would love to have a video comparison of what you just did next to what he actually sounds like to see how close we actually were.
I tried my best. Tried my best. You can't do that New Zealand accent, man. It's really hard. But I remember because he like dies, and they're like, I think that group or whatever, they're like, you're a brother or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay, but I didn't know his number was 99. That had ties to that, so that makes a lot more sense because I guess he was a Bad Batch, like the first of the Bad Batch.
Well, he was just like a malformed clone. He didn't have the desirable enhancements that we see in Bad Batch. Like, he wasn't super strong. He wasn't a natural born leader. Yeah. Some might argue that, but like, you see what I mean? Like, he wasn't
a great cleaner. So
yeah. Oh man, do you know how hard it would be to keep Camino halls all white?
It's always so white,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I know that there's not like dirt or anything, but like, man. That's just impossible. It's just him. Yeah. No one else.
It's like an H&M. It's just too bright and white. And just one janitor.
Yeah. He can't even see, man. The only way he sees dirt is like he's blinded and he just sees a dot and he walks towards it, just cleans it on up and moves on out.
He's hunchback, so he's always looking down. So he always knows.
Camino has crazy cobwebs up in those corners.
He's like, fuck. Fuck this bullshit. I don't know what accent that was either.
Yeah, we really went off the beaten path on that
one. Dude, I love that one guy who voices like all the clones finally gets a break in this show. I mean, he does voice like all the other clones, but each of these guys have their own different voices or voice actors, right?
I'm not sure. I thought it was Dee Bradley Baker for all of them.
Oh, for real?
I thought it was. Let me look.
That's crazy because they all sound so different. But Dee Bradley Baker, he's the guy with glasses, right? Oh no, that's James Arnold.
Yeah,
Dee Bradley Baker.
Okay, so this article is called. Oh no, it's going to try to start playing a video. Okay. The article's called "How Dee Bradley Baker Balances All the Bad Batch Characters."
Damn.
So I think it's all him.
Good job, man.
So this show is pretty much like everyone, like one or two people, and then the rest is just him.
Even the girl?
Could you imagine if he plays Omega?
Yeah, I was gonna say even the little girl.
It's like, hey, can you do a little girl accent? He just goes full Australian, and they're like, no, stop, stop, don't make it Australian.
Damn, that's crazy, man. But does he voice the clones, like the regs, as well?
I'd assume so.
Damn, dude, that guy's getting money.
Yeah, I really want like a list. Bad Batch.
I know I texted you when you hear Freddie Prinze Jr. in the beginning of the episode, just doing his adult voice, just adult Kanan coming out of a child's face. I was like, is he supposed to be older than he looks? And then I saw that it directly ties into like Last Padawan. I was like, yeah, no, he's definitely should have. They should have chose a different voice actor for young Kanan.
I don't mind they used him. I wish it was like slightly higher pitch because like you really did get that deep voice from Freddie Prinze Jr. No fault of his own.
Yeah.
But
the king.
Yeah.
Prince.
But yeah, it did come off a little jarring right to start with. You just have like Caleb walk in. He's like, "Yeah, I got these clones, 4 of them."
This child smoking.
Yeah.
Sounds
hey, Demba, I got these 4 clones up on the hill.
I know these clones, and they're pretty cool.
Is
that actually canon, though? That he knew the Bad Batch? Because I read the comics, and I was like...
It is now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember that, but
Yeah, it is. Oh, I mean, I feel like that would be such a far in advance like foreshadowing if in the comic they're like, you remember the Bad Batch? That's the only line. But
there are
no,
some gaps in the story where you could fill that in with a Bad Batch. So I guess whatever.
yeah, I don't think we'll see more of them. I might have missed something that hinted to him coming back, but I really don't think so. I think it was just kind of a setup, um, and kind of a starting point to introduce Crosshair as a villain, right?
Yeah,
Also, who knows? Maybe it made the stakes a little bit more important, right? Because like if that was just like, I guess the way I would compare it is like we we see Caleb, who then Kanan, right? We see him. We have high stakes for him, but like then when we see like the random Jedi that drops their lightsaber on Kamino, we're all just like, oh, that sucks. That's it.
yeah,
There's like no emotional investment behind it, like you'd have with like Caleb or Kanan or whatever you want to call him at that point. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, is
yeah,
there anything in the episode that you didn't like? Because I feel like overall we had a pretty positive experience watching this episode.
yeah. It was really good. I mean, the voice thing was jarring. Um, Other than that, like one thing that I always like really question is like I figured that the Bad Batch had these enhancements, right? But then like we see them just go like wipe out entire platoons like constantly. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe they are just that super good, right? But like I don't know. Uh, I feel like there might be some consistency issues eventually with like I don't know certain things like how accurate is Crosshair, how strong is Wrecker, things like that.
yeah, yeah. There's no
Yeah,
like power scale really with them. They're just a little. I think they imply that they're like just whatever skills that a regular clone has, but dialed up to each one of their abilities. Like if they were a character in RPG, they would just be like strength
yeah,
10, like intelligence 10, whatever. Yeah, I didn't have any issues with the episode overall. Freddie Prinze Jr. just using his adult voice was kind of weird, but I would take that over them just Alvin and the Chipmunks audio version.
yeah.
Hey man, like I would be like, no, that's weird.
Love these clones. What the hell?
It's me, Kanan.
Why are you talking like that? Stop. Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry,
back to my
Pepper.
regular voice.
Yeah, I want a Jedi that's just straight Italian mob. What is
Dexter Jetster. I forgot what he sounded like, but in my head I just picture like an Italian Slav that owns a Brooklyn pizzeria.
just like twirling his lightsaber? Hey, hey, what are we doing?
His lightsaber's a giant pizza.
It's a baguette. Just stale bread.
It's a meatball sub. There is a Jedi though that is his race, right? I know this is going completely off topic from the episode, but I think there is a Jedi that's like shows up in Clone Wars or in Rebels. That's like the same race as Dexter Jetster.
I didn't know that.
It's not impossible. Anyways, back to the episode. At the end of the episode, right? Yeah, at the end, they're like, we're escaping from Camino, and we're gonna go out into space. They go into hyperspace. But Hunter's like, I know a guy. Who do you think the guy is?
Oh, I don't really know. I actually haven't thought about that a lot. I was a little too captured by the rest of it. I'm like living out like in my Clone War glory days. Like, oh my god, remember when they went to the battlefield? They fought. But yeah, I really don't know who. My first thought was like, I don't know. Maybe they're going to Saw Gerrera again. They're going to chat with him. I doubt it. It didn't seem like in their conversations that they were going to meet up again. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because it would be weird if they're like, he was like, I know a guy, and then it's Saw Gerrera, and then they're all like, yeah, we met him too. Yeah, like we were there. So
Like text, like, when the hell did you find out where he was? Like we were all there too, man.
you guys been texting without us? Where's the group chat?
No.
Oh man, yeah, the inclusion of Saw Gerrera, a character that was apparently first established in Clone Wars and then shown in Rogue One, right? Played by Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, before that, but like, yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think that they're by adding this character to the animated show? Do you think they're implying on bringing him back in live action in some capacity? Maybe in like The Mandalorian with Forrest Whitaker returning to play that role? Because in Rogue One, he was probably the least interesting thing about that movie, in my opinion.
No, dude. No.
Oh, okay, yeah. Use your favorite character in Rogue One.
Yeah. Name one of the characters in Rogue One that was more interesting than him. But you can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I think they're trying to make his character more interesting after Rogue One. Just be like, oh well, you didn't like him in Rogue One, but we're gonna bring him back in this capacity to just be like, yeah, we're gonna make you like this character, whether you like it or not. For me, I was like, fine, yeah. I don't know who Saw is, so I know for other people who are probably fans, probably it means more. So that's why I was asking you. But for me, I was just like, oh, cool. But yeah, what do you think of Saw?
I don't know if they'll bring him back. Sorry, Charlie's like looking at me as if he wants to join. But like, I don't know if they're gonna bring him back. He's definitely not come back in Mando. I don't even think that's a possibility at this point, considering he died in Rogue One.
Right.
I mean, if he somehow survived that, good on him.
Yeah.
Like, come back every single movie. Feel free.
That guy, didn't he have like an iron lung or something? Like the dude could not just breathe or function. He had like an oxygen tank on a wheel.
He had like a mask, and the man was just barely hanging on anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll bring him back for more of the show. Maybe if we start really leaning into like Rebel Alliance and stuff like that, because truly at heart, he was a rebel and he was willing to do it at any cost necessary. We kind of saw that side for the Empire already with Tarkin. So who knows? Maybe they'll rival that with him.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking that T's character at the end could be Commander Cody. I don't know if they ever had any interactions in prior episodes or Commander Cody ever mentioned the Bad Batch or anything. But I was thinking maybe it could be him, or maybe it could be a Jedi that they've worked with before. It's definitely not the Jedi that passed away in the beginning of the episode.
No.
But yeah, definitely not.
Rest in peace, Depa.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and it's Caleb, and somehow we see that. Maybe it's Rex.
Right.
I don't want to spoil the end of 7 for you, but
It's fine. Honestly, like I feel like I know Revenge of the Sith, and that's pretty much the biggest thing you could spoil for me.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't mind.
I mean, like, end of season 7, unless I'm missing something, we basically see him and Ahsoka kind of in the wake of a destroyed ship where all of his like clone brothers had died, and really beyond that, we have this huge gap in between then and when we see him in Rebels. So, yeah, there's a good possibility that it could be him.
Yeah.
At that point, he doesn't have his inhibitor chip either, so he might be able to disclose more to the Bad Batch what's going on.
So it is a chip. That's
so
it's not just
they're
like something that
programmed.
they're. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they're basically programmed, so they all have these chips in their head. There's a bunch of stuff that supports it, but really the main thing is in Clone Wars Season 7, Ahsoka does like a brain scan on Rex really quick to figure out what's going on. Because there was this huge arc with like Fives. He was a clone saying like, we have these stuff in our heads, and like no one was listening to him. Everyone thought he was crazy. He ended up getting terminated. And, at the end of Season 7, or kind of near the end, we see Rex, who's then struggling after Order 66 to try to prevent like hunting Ahsoka. We see him start like crying while he's trying to disobey the orders, but he's holding the gun up still, right? And he ends up trying to follow through with those orders. But in the meantime, he's like saying like fives, which gives Ahsoka enough prompt to go look back into the case, find out that, okay, there is a chip in their head. Like, okay, I got to go capture Rex. She gets Rex, does the scan, finds the chip, removes it. And then all of a sudden Rex has like free will, if you want to call it that. He's no longer bound to having to listen to that order.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're toying with Crosshair's chip in the episode, but I didn't know it was a chip. I thought they were just doing some mumbo jumbo science to his brain.
No.
Because I thought it was something kind of like the stormtroopers, how they're kind of raised up to hate or like follow orders. They're kind of brainwashed to like have a trigger word, kind of like the Winter Soldier, where you say a series of words and then he just can't control what happens. So I thought it was something like that. I didn't know it was an actual physical chip. That was.
I mean, that's kind of it, though. You kind of hit the nail on the head. There's just a chip involved. So, like, think about it. We see the clones throughout Clone Wars, and even kind of in the beginning of this episode, where we see them as like, they respect the chain of command. They love the people they work with, but then it right when 66 hits. Sorry, Charlie's just like knocking everything around.
Yeah, Morgan has a really cute dog, but he's a monster.
Yeah, he doesn't really stop. But like, yeah, right when 66 happens, you see a total shift. They're just super subservient after that point. They're not nice. They're crude. Yeah, I think it's right when that programming kicks in. It's just they don't have a choice.
Yeah, it seems that way because. What's a tech guy's name?
Tech.
God. Yeah. Tech. Damn it! They make it so easy to remember. Tech, Echo, Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
Breaker, right?
Yeah, Rambo.
Rambo.
Jepsen.
Nick Jones.
D. Bradley Baker.
He points out, he's like, oh, let's test out your theory, and he like approaches one of the clones in the hallway, and they're just being an asshole. He's like, oh, nothing's changed.
I never understood that part. Yeah. But yeah, I think they're more cruel now, right? Like, you see Omega in the room, and then the clone's just basically like, what the hell? Get out. Like, get out. Lock her up.
Just weird. Yeah. I think they just don't like girls.
Yeah, man. Clones, they're all about cooties. It's pretty rough.
Did you I guess it's not really a twist, but did you predict that she was going to be a clone? Because there were some kind of little giveaways and hints throughout the episode that she was a clone. But yeah, what did you think?
I mean, like, I feel like thinking about the people that are on Kamino in the first place, you're kind of just like, if it's not a Kaminoan or whatever they're called, then it's probably a clone. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to say it. Too many letters, man.
What?
Yeah. I've seen that video.
Yeah, I've seen that. Oh.
Yeah.
Deep fake. So yeah, she's a clone, but the little giveaways were that, like you said, who else is going to be on there? Either they're going to be like long-necked weirdos, or they're going to be just standard clones. There's no like in between. But I looked at her character design. I was like, because you see briefly in the episode, you see some of the younger version of the clones. I'm like, oh, she kind of just looks like them with a wig. She kind of looks like Princess Zelda, but like, as a clone.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't like too big of a shocker when they were like, she's a clone.
Yeah, I think they were trying to build that up to be more of a shocker. Maybe it's just me, but I was just like, I kind of felt like they didn't really need to build up to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have any no gripes about the episode overall. I think as a fan of Star Wars, it adds a lot more context to the entire thing. Expands the universe in an interesting way. It doesn't just rely on Jedis to kind of drive the narrative of Star Wars. It kind of looks at the most interesting part of Clone Wars, which is the clones. So yeah, give me more of this. I don't know how long the next episode's going to be, but this one was 75 minutes, and I was like, whoa, this is feels like I was watching a movie.
Yeah, it was a ton.
Yeah.
Needed every minute, though.
Yeah. How many episodes are in this season?
10? maybe.
10. Whoa. 10 75-minute episodes for an animated
Oh,
series?
I doubt they're that. I doubt they're that long. Bad Batch episode list. Nice. Just 3.
Wait, for real? Just 3?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I thought there was 10, but
Maybe it's like 75 and then the rest of the episodes are like 30 minutes, 20 minutes or something. That would make more sense.
yeah, normally Wikipedia will list out how many there are, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm just excited. We'll see where it goes.
Yep. Same. Anything else you want to talk about for this episode?
Yeah, man, I just want to repeat. I love Star Trek.
Big fan of
great.
Jumanji.
Yeah,
Man.
God, the Rock really just portrays Chewbacca in this. Amazing.
He does a
Just-
great job.
Like, he was only surpassed by Gandalf in this episode.
Right? And then when Harry Potter came in, I was like, oh, everyone, hold on to your
Yeah.
Horcruxes. Things are about to get crazy. Yeah, man. Dude, this must be so confusing to anyone who just doesn't give a shit. They're like, wait,
100%.
what?
You just know that, like, someone kind of got bored, like, a quarter or halfway through this so far. They're like, okay, there's like shooting the shit about Star Wars. I'm gonna go to the end and see if they have any hot takes, and then they just skipped right to there, and they're like,
Yeah, Harry Potter comes in.
what? Like, man, maybe I gotta go rewatch the episode. I don't really remember this.
Maybe I gotta rewatch the entire trilogy and everything.
Do it, yeah. I could not recommend that even more.
I mean, talking about expanded lore of Star Wars, but do you think at any point we'll get like robots? Like no, not robots. Sorry, that's
They
a
might
dumb
have
question.
robots
Do you think
eventually.
we'll ever get like mech suits, like Gundam in Star Wars? This is the dumbest tangent
I'm not
I could ever
sure.
bring up.
I'm sure it
I've thought
exists
about it.
somewhere out there in extended universe, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
What a great way to end this.
yeah, just a lot of.
First
Do you
review.
think they have this? I don't know. Do you think they'll have this?
I don't deserve a channel.
That's all right, man. Just cut it out. If it doesn't work, just
Got
cut
it
it.
staying in. They need to know.
All right, yeah.
I'm
Just let
trash.
it all stay in. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank
Cool.
you for joining me for this. We're going to do this for the next episode, guys. So, yeah, that was the Bad Batch episode 1. Overall, Morgan hated it. I seem to like it despite everything that Morgan said about the episode. I thought it was great. I think the stories and the characters were treated very well. So, yeah. Yeah, Morgan, I'm just surprised you didn't like the episode. So,
Honestly, this show's just garbage.
yeah.
It's just cartoons, bro.
This is going to be even more confusing for people who just cut to the
Why is he wearing a Star Wars shirt and he's talking trash?
Anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys. When's the next episode come out? Friday or no?
Probably next week. I don't know. Is it Friday?
Came out May the 4th, so it came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, they had to do that
Tuesday.
regardless. Let's look it up.
All right, we'll hold that thought.
Release date. Charles, you
We'll try to do it the day of too, so we can get these out sooner.
May 7th.
May 7th. Whoa!
Friday.
Is it? It's Friday.
Dang.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn, I got a lot of work to do. All right. Well, Morgan, do you have anything you want to plug?
No.
Great. Makes it easier for me.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see you guys probably this weekend. I'll try to post this by the 6th, which is we're shooting this on the 5th right now. So Cinco de
Yes.
Mayo. But yeah, I'll try to post this by tomorrow, maybe even early tonight. And then we'll try to put out another one of these Taki reviews by Saturday, I'm hoping. So talk
Easily.
about it Friday. And then, yeah, we'll see where we go from there. So yeah, busy week. Lots of videos coming your guys' way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to Morgan's channel, The Bourbon State. Or, damn it, not his channel. Add him as a friend on Discord at The Bourbon State. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys again. Like, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. But anyways, guys, as always, we will see you later.
Bye.
Fuck you, Morgan. I'm not leaving that in. Maybe I'll leave it in. Screw it. Yeah, fuck you, Morgan.